Please subscribe. The Christmas dinner felt warm and bright, filled with twinkling lights and everyone acting happy, and I arrived a little late, holding presents and still believing everything was fine. Laughter bounced around the room as family members raised their glasses to old traditions. Then my heart stopped. Across the table, my wife Emily leaned close to a man I had never seen before. He kissed her right there in front of everyone, sure of himself, like he was part of the family. No hiding, no worry. A few relatives noticed and went still. Others looked away and pretended nothing was happening. Emily didn't pull back. She smiled. The whole room seemed to spin. Right then, I didn't feel angry. I felt clear. I suddenly understood something important. Betrayal doesn't shock you just because it hurts. It shocks you because it wipes away the fake story in 1 second. I set the gifts down quietly. I didn't yell. I didn't rush over. I just watched people's faces. Shock travels quietly at first, then it bursts. Emily finally saw me standing there. Her smile faded. She started to say something. I raised my hand softly. Everyone went silent, and the silence listened to me, not her. That silence was about to change everything. I walked slowly to the middle of the table, not toward her. Now everyone was watching. The man next to her sat up straight and looked nervous. Emily gave a nervous laugh, already getting ready to explain. I thanked everyone for coming together and wished them a Merry Christmas. Confusion took the place of shock. I said I was thankful for honesty, especially when it shows up without warning. That made her uneasy. I looked at the man and asked his name. He said David, glancing at Emily for help. I nodded and asked how long they had been together. He paused. Emily jumped in, saying I was making a big scene. I smiled calmly and asked her to let him answer. Everyone leaned closer. David admitted it had been 5 months. People gasped. Emily's face turned bright red. She tried to laugh it off and said it was complicated. I agreed. Things get simple when the truth comes out loud and clear. I explained that this dinner was supposed to celebrate family. Instead, it showed the real truth, and truth doesn't need yelling. It just needs people to see it. Phones were already out recording. I let them. I reached into my pocket and took out a small envelope. Inside were printed copies of messages I had found 3 weeks earlier. At first I hoped they were a mistake. Hope had kept me quiet. Proof ended that. I placed the papers on the table gently, no slamming. There were dates, photos, and plans that happened during holidays. Emily turned pale. David stepped back, realizing he wasn't the only one surprised. Relatives whispered, not shocked by the cheating, but by how bold it had been. I told everyone calmly that I didn't come to fight or beg. I came to finish things. Emily accused me of planning to embarrass her. I corrected her kindly. She had planned the secret. When secrets fail, the truth just shows up. I thanked her parents, Susan and Robert, for welcoming me into their family all these years, and said I was sorry honesty had to arrive this way. That apology hurt her more than any shouting could have. Being truly seen is quieter than being yelled at. David left fast. Emily stayed frozen, unable to talk. A heavy silence filled the room. I picked up my coat and walked toward the door. Emily called my name. My name is Michael, her voice breaking. She wanted an explanation, forgiveness, anything. I stopped but didn't turn around. I said actions speak clearer than words, so no translation is needed. She sank into a chair, her face burning while everyone watched. Her family looked away from her. Soft Christmas music kept playing in the background. It felt completely wrong. Outside, the cold air helped me breathe steady again. I didn't feel like I won. I felt done. Inside the house in Columbus, Ohio, chaos started. Arguments, accusations, crying. I didn't stay to hear it. Being finished doesn't mean you have to stand close. I drove away slowly, letting everything settle. Betrayal doesn't break you all at once. It makes things clear. I realized I hadn't lost a wife that night. I had lost a story I kept telling myself. Stories end when proof walks in. That dinner didn't ruin Christmas. It took away the pretending. And pretending weighs a lot more than truth. I chose truth and left the rest behind with no regrets. The days after were quiet and strangely peaceful. Relatives sent messages saying they were sorry for what I had to see. None from Emily really mattered. She called later, crying, blaming loneliness, confusion, mistakes. I didn't pick up. Real responsibility grows best in silence. I moved my things out of our house in Portland, Oregon, quickly and without any drama. Healing felt simple and practical, not a big emotional mess. I slept well. I ate normal meals. I stopped replaying that kiss in my head. It didn't control me anymore. People asked how I stayed so calm. I told them calm shows up when you stop pretending. I never planned to humiliate anyone. I planned to keep my dignity. That difference is everything. Emily's reputation changed fast. People stopped trying to defend what couldn't be defended. David disappeared. Secret relationships only live in the dark, not in the light. I didn't go around telling my side of the story. I didn't have to. The truth had already spoken loud enough at that table. I learned something I'll never forget. When respect is gone, love just holds you back. Walking away calmly isn't weak. It's clear thinking. It's choosing yourself. Weeks later, the separation was finished cleanly. No long fights left over. Having everything out in the open makes talks shorter. Emily looked smaller when we met one last time at the lawyer's office. Not destroyed, just honestly seen. She asked if there was any chance to try again. I told her chances end when caring turns into disrespect. That answer closed the door. I rebuilt my life step by step. Work, exercise, real friendships built on honesty. Trust comes back slowly, but it comes when people stay steady. I stopped thinking of Christmas as a sad time. Holidays don't hurt people, bad choices do. I learned that humiliation doesn't come from speaking calm truth. It comes from telling bold lies that get caught. Knowing that freed me from any guilt. People still talk about that night, adding extra details. I don't correct them. Truth doesn't need fixing up. I realized the strongest thing I did wasn't what I said. It was what I didn't say. My silence let everyone figure it out on their own. And once people truly understand, they don't forget. That dinner taught me dignity can survive betrayal if you don't abandon yourself. Today the memory feels settled, like a fact, not a wound. I don't replay Emily's red face or the shocked quiet. Those belong to the past. What stays with me is clarity. That night showed me self-respect speaks louder than anger. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't fight. I simply ended it. Some endings need witnesses, so you never doubt them later. I walked into that dinner married. I walked out free from confusion. The humiliation wasn't mine. It belonged to the lie that got caught under those bright Christmas lights. When people ask how I handled everything so calmly, I tell them the honest truth. I had already accepted what was real before I even got there. Acceptance turns pain into clear, steady action. I didn't ruin the evening. I ended a lie that would have ruined many more years. Christmas still comes every year. So does peace. I choose peace now every single time. And peace, once you choose it, never asks you to explain yourself.